Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as RobKTA, and I'm joined, as always, by friends and co-hosts.
Rowan, you might know me as Mocha, and I am trying and failing to balance regional prep and the best game ever made. And I'm joined by...
And this is Sheldon, you probably know me as Captain Nova, and I only know Tears of the Kingdom.
All right, so two of us are still trying to do some amount of prep for Hartford. I know I'm failing worse than you are when it comes to prepping for Hartford, so look forward to that, my opponents. And then Sheldon's just lost in Hyrule. He doesn't know what a Pokemon is. He knows what Bokoblins are.
Yeah, I just run around fields, catch things, build things, solid day's work.
So
Wait, Sheldon, are you coming to Hartford or no?
No.
No, okay.
yeah, just completely four-win Pokemon.
We have like the group chat of people we room with is like just kind of grown and included more people and not like
we're
made a new one
almost
for each
at
regional.
the limit of DM like groups for Discord. We're
like
at 9 out of 10, and then after
only
that
have
we need
10?
a server.
Oh.
It's only 10 for a thing.
Our Airbnb discussions have just turned into a regular Discord server.
It's just our chat.
Yeah.
I'm one of these. I keep threatening it. I keep thinking about it. Like, just throw a link in there and be like, "Y'all, just show up here. Let's organize this chat."
And then we won't talk there.
I know it won't work. I know it won't work. That's why
It's
I
not the same. It's not as safe as the chat.
I might do it. Anywho, that's all beyond the point. Hartford is this weekend. Mocha and myself will be there. Or Rowan and myself will be here. Whatever. That guy and me will be here. Hopefully I'm pointing in the right direction because I don't know how I'm going to edit this later.
I'm going to need you to do like a really poorly done like finger going the other way if it's wrong.
Wrong. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that much effort. Because any time that tomorrow night when I'm editing extra, I could instead be playing Tears of the Kingdom. So, obviously...
So this is going up raw.
This is... that would be really... really funny.
Just like literally one black frame that says I didn't want to edit this, I'm playing Zelda.
No, just like the take the raw Riverview does like Riverside does a like a collage of us talking as well as the individual clips, and I'm like,
that'll work.
Maybe.
Or you could just have like the Ocarina of Time intro screen where it says Link writing on Epona across the screen just constantly. That's all.
No. That's more effort because I have to find that.
True.
See?
You need to go on YouTube, record it, and just slap that on.
Anyway, Tears of the Kingdom is really good. It came out this past weekend. Clearly, based on the conversation so far and the thumbnail and title of whatever you clicked on to get here, thank you for showing up. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube or follow on Spotify or whatever. We're going to talk about Tears of the Kingdom for the most part of this episode.
You want to get through whatever we have of Pokemon and then just all Zelda?
Yeah, so Hartford's this weekend.
Yep.
So Tears of the Kingdom. We have a little bit. Like we said, Rowan and myself will be at Hartford. That'll be super fun. Looking forward to that. What else really is happening?
So we've had the first batch of locals this past week. Past couple weeks, actually. So I was really happy. I got second at my local, which was great.
Very nice.
The week before that was we've had them for the last 2 weeks now. During this past weekend, there have just been the most stacked tournaments ever that have been fought for the tiniest of prizes. I know that Justin Tang and Wolf Glick and Yotam and Charisma
wasn't it
all
Justin
at
and Wolf at the finals?
In the finals, yeah.
Okay.
All of these people were just at a random DC local, and they were just playing until late at night. I think I saw the people, they were live tweeting their runs until almost midnight on a Monday.
What are these people doing?
Ultimately, Justin did take it over Wolf in the finals. It was wild, all fighting for 30 CP when both Wolf and Justin are regional champions. Justin's a 2-time regional champion. He's like, no, I'm doing this very seriously to get this local win.
That's bizarre.
Hey, you need those points for the travel allowance.
I don't think either of them are in the running, unfortunately. So the way the CP system works, even though both of them are they're both contenders for the best in the world right now, I think, at least. Neither of them went to EUIC or OCIC. And as a result, the payouts for international...
That's a ton of points.
Yeah, they're just disproportionately larger. And I think like back when they were first established, it probably made more sense. But nowadays, regionals are effectively just as hard as internats are. So like, it just
apparently
kinda sucks for them.
locals are as hard as internets too. Like,
Yeah, that should not be the case.
not quite, but yeah, it's getting up there. Yeah.
like I mean, if you just had to fight through those two to get to the title, like I mean,
Fair enough, yeah.
that's a top cut like gauntlet in itself.
Absolutely. There's that, and then the other crazy place that happened, so during the actual weekend, the same day I was playing my local, in Ohio there was a stacked local. I think, like most notably, Ashton Cox was there. Yotam was also there, and then Joe UX9 flew in from New York because there was like a triple or a quadruple header in Ohio that weekend, where you could pay for 3 locals and play in 4 of them.
Jeez.
And so I know
Right?
That's
So-
more than a day of.
I mean, it was over the whole.
Regionals.
It was over the whole weekend, I think.
Yeah, but that's
okay.
like more. That's more
Still.
Pokemon than you get at a regional.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is pretty.
that's
I mean,
a lot.
I guess it makes some amount of sense why Joe flew in then. But yeah, so they and so Ashton, I did some coaching with Ashton. I ended up using the same team as he did to get second at my local. He just won the first. So he was telling me he paid for all 4. He's the one that's like, I'm gonna play all 4 of these, whatever. This should be fun. And then he just won the first 2, and they're like got first place in the first 2 of them. And so there is a cap on how many points you can only get points from 2 locals. So your 2
Right.
best performances will give you CP, and beyond that you don't get any more. I guess to stop people from abusing it, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
And which is it's good. We've joked about this before, but that is you could absolutely abuse it in previous years, so it's probably for the best. But so once he won the first 2, he's like, I can't benefit from playing seriously in any more of these, so I just like played a
So
joke
just
team
leave,
for
yeah.
he played a joke team for the final 2. It was like
Oh.
I'm still gonna hang around here and cast and stuff, but like. It's pretty crazy. I think it's so cool that they're coming back. Like it seems like most of them are just in local game stores. There are like 2 very close by that the 2 locals I went to were at, and yeah, a lot of fun. Everybody like gets into it. You only have to play. It's kind of like when we were joking about having a seniors league. There were because we had 16 people at the local. Once you go over 17, it bumps up. But we only played 4 rounds of Swiss, and then
sure.
Oh, see, that's perfect. 4 rounds of Swiss is like the perfect amount.
and then it
of
goes to a
Swiss.
top 4 cut. Once
Yeah.
you have above 16 people, it's 5 rounds in a top 16 cut, or top 8 cut rather. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That's a good number. I gotta bug
Yeah.
my local my LGSs around here. I gotta bug them because
The
in
issue
the
is
Carolinas they
You need
mostly do.
A TO.
a TO,
And
like,
like,
a
a, and like
professor
a
or
stage
whatever.
1
Well,
TO.
I know we have some here
Okay,
in the area,
yeah.
but they all focus mostly on TCG stuff because that's more popular.
I think they need to at least be a VG judge.
But they
Probably
do have-
ba-
but
I
they
don't know
do
if it's
have
basic
some.
or stage 1. Okay.
We do have
Papa
those.
Shuckle, who like
Yeah.
really like
Yeah.
you know him, you
Yeah.
were on South Carolina's team. He did actually host the first local.
Yeah,
So he
but that's
has
like
the
it's like an
qualifications to do
hour.
it.
It's like an hour and a half away from me, and I don't feel like driving to Columbia on a Saturday morning or something to play
No,
Pokemon.
fly to
enough.
Ohio to play in 4 of them.
Yes. I just want it like I just want like on a Friday night, just like, oh hey, I'm gonna go play some Pokemon with some people, like right down the road.
It will
like,
never be at night, by the way. It's always
Oh,
at,
true.
Like, it's always at like noon or something.
Well, I'm gonna
Oh,
create
nice.
this seniors league, and I'm gonna get some nighttime folks.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules. Like you're not legally allowed. I'm not legally, but they don't allow it to be at a venue that serves alcohol and stuff like that. So that's unfortunate.
Oh, see,
but
that's a lot of our LGSs here serve alcohol.
yeah, they won't let you hold it
Oh.
there. You can't do it at colleges anymore either, which I think is really
That
lame,
was
honestly.
weird. I
Because
saw
Yeah,
that
that was a
one.
weard.
yeah, because that is just a huge source of new
just-
players. They're all
it's a good
college
scene.
kids,
Yeah.
and I myself would never leave campus to play video games back during undergrad. So but if it was there, if I could walk to it, that'd be great.
Unless your LGS is like right there. Like
Yeah. So unfortunate, but yeah, that's pretty much all it for locals. Yeah, Malamar's been going. I got second in that in the major series in the main season rather. So playoffs are gonna start for that. Should be
Heck
pretty
yeah.
fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah,
fun.
I did bad in it. I kind of fell off. I got too busy with life
Real-
stuff. Yeah,
Real
So-
life kind of hit you, and I
Yeah.
had a lucky blip of not having to do a whole lot in real life for the last while. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm sad
Lucky.
about that, but
lucky is a
Is a
strong word.
word.
It's not.
Yeah.
happy accidents.
There we go. I had some free time against my will, and therefore was able to play a lot more Pokemon than I should have. But
That's true. Yeah, I know for Florida locals, they're starting to. The first one was this past weekend. I missed it. I had other plans, unfortunately. But shout out to J who ran it. There's another local going on in a further away from me area of Florida in a bad time, like tonight or something. I don't know. It's like on a weeknight. But yeah, and I know that J actually did a whole stream. The whole local was streamed, and apparently a nice production from what I saw of it.
That's really hard. Like, not many locals are streamed.
Yeah.
As long as it was better than the USPA streams.
Yeah.
It's up there. It was like really solid. AV tech went into this.
So that's something that made me think, like, when we're talking about these locals and just the star power now you have basically showing up to these locals, like Pokemon should have, they just need it's almost like the NFL red zones where you just kind of cut the games kind of thing, where you're just, all these locals can just kind of stream it, and they just, I don't know, you got, Cybertron sitting at his house kind of casting things. Yeah.
You can talking over do remote casting, yeah.
Yeah, they could do like remote castings of like some of these big, like if they know like you got Justin Tang and Wolf Glick showing up at a regional, like show us.
I would have loved to watch those games.
Like they would if they threw that up on a official Pokemon channel, because it's going to be hard to find some of these random like LGS channels, like it's just not really feasible to be looking for all those through Twitter. But if they just kind of consolidated it, that'd be amazing. Now that's going to be a lot of work and a lot of production and coordination, but
honestly, I'm happy we're getting them at all. But I agree that would be amazing.
That would be amazing. But I feel like that's something like we would have to be on a League of Legends kind of,
a little more of an established esport.
Yes, yeah, you would need something like that, I think, to get them to actually try to do that. But
sure,
that'd be amazing.
It is moving up in the world, though, and I will say, like, I do love that we get to, like, when I go to a regional, I'm paying hundreds of dollars for plane tickets, for a hotel room, or splitting an Airbnb, whatever, for food, because I have to eat out 2-3 times a day for a whole weekend, right? It's a lot of money. It's a big time investment. I am taking that seriously. I'm only bringing a team I'm very comfortable with, that I've played a lot of games with, that I like. If there's a gimmick, I think it's genuinely good and not just haha. This local,
and
I drove
in best of 3.
Yeah, this local, I drove less than 30 minutes, like closer to 20 because the traffic was good on the way there, and I guess there's some CP on the line, but you can win 30 tops, right? So, and they have them every few weeks. So I'm just gonna I get to just bring fun stuff. I brought 3 dark. I brought double dark, double ice. I had 3 fighting weaknesses, 2 of which were 4 times weak to fighting. But I got to try some really cool stuff. And if you didn't know, Terra Dark, Black Glasses, King Gambit, Sucker Punch, Oko's an Iron Bundle if you swap in Chen Pao.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I'm not bringing it anymore I'm not bringing that specific thing to Harvard anymore. So I'm just going to say that. Yeah, it's so good. And like, yes, I get absolutely massacred by Drain Punch, but like, it's just so fun to get to try all this stuff out. And you can bring the wackiest stuff you want to a local and do it in a real best of 3 open sheet against players who are taking it seriously. Yeah,
it's still good experience to play in these locals, because it is the exact same format that you're going to get at a regionals, more or less.
Yeah, and it's always fun to go to like your LGS and play something. I think that's always a fun experience.
People. It's a very good social experience,
because it taps into the, like, VGC still has the TCG aspect to it. I think like there's still like those roots in it. And being able to get out to your store to play, like, it's just good for the community. Sometimes, like, because I've loved that when I've gotten a chance to go play Magic, like Friday Night Magic. Like, it's just a thing they always do, just like every weekend. Like, hey, and it's not always a serious thing, like people can be casual about it, but still have fun.
Exactly. And like what we've been talking about with the regionals, I think it still applies to these locals, is that like, while online tournaments are absolutely fantastic, they're a huge boon to the community, they're a huge boon to people who cannot afford to travel and all that, it is still, like, you cannot understate how much better it is for building a community when you actually meet these people and they are not just avatars on Discord.
Yeah.
They are no longer an anime or a game character next to like just XX Dark Slayer 99, something like that, right? No, they are a real human being with a name who you're going to go get lunch with after 4 rounds, right? Like, that's pretty cool.
It's also, like, especially like a lot of us that started playing during COVID, and the whole like we shifted to completely online, and so that just opened up a whole new world to a lot of people, like, you know, a whole new community. And so now we're actually getting to get together.
And it expands your online community too. So I mean, the Georgia VC community is pretty large, and it's been entirely online. But like, there were some people who showed up to this, including the winner of this last one, who he a fantastic player, had not heard of any of this. He only discovered it because he happened to know the game store where it was being hosted at. And now we have them all in the Discord. Now we're talking online. Now we're going to practice together and team build together, and we'll try to get them in the next season of USPA and all that. Like, it's really cool, and we would never have discovered these people, and they would never have discovered us if it wasn't for this thing happening in real life.
Yeah, well, because some people aren't active on things like Twitter and all, where you would find other players, you know. Exactly. So like, you can't. It's not like you can log on to Discord and all of a sudden everything relevant pops up. Like, you have to be invited
on Discord, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Not because, good discovery.
Yeah,
so they have a thing that's just kind of meh, but like all of that stuff, all that, like, more
you already needed to know the people to join the community.
Yeah.
So actually getting to like actually people that get out, and like I said, they might not be active on social media, so now you can meet these other people. And especially with Scarlet and Violet, like, you have old players, you know, the old heads coming back up.
Yeah. Even more so, like, even if it just benefits from the more vectors of new people coming in, right? Like, no matter what it is.
This is how we grow the scene too. Yeah. So I'm very excited to see this. Like, this is just the early stages. This is just like the first you're just allowed to do this. I think it'll be very cool to see how this grows, how it goes into the next season. Is that it for Pokemon? Did we kill it?
I think so. So we're going to take a quick break and then switch over to Tears of the Kingdom. So much for giving myself less editing. Anywho, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
So I think, for the sake of y'all listening, watching, whatever, we're probably going to talk on some spoilers, probably some very early spoilers. Who is the furthest in the game? I have done one of the region things.
Same. So I think you and I are relatively similar.
You're ahead of me.
You've probably done some more side stuff because I haven't been in the chasms yet.
Okay.
But
I've done some shrines. I've just ran around and tried to build stuff with what I got and fight things that I'm probably not supposed to fight yet.
Yeah.
That's I've done some of that too. So I think that's your spoiler warning, right, for this. If you don't want to hear anything about Tears of the Kingdom, lovingly go away.
Nothing beyond the tutorial area and like very rough strokes about the game as a whole. We're not going to tell you anything about the plot. Honestly, we don't know that much about the plot yet either. So
I mean, I think I
probably know more about the plot because I've like found a few of the tiers already.
Okay.
So I probably found the geoglyphs.
Yeah, so I probably am further along in the story than y'all. Y'all are just as far like in the quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't hunted them down as much.
I need to do that, actually.
Yeah, I see them and I'm like, oh, I need to go there now. So let me go look at that instead of, following the quest markers.
On my long list of things to do. So, there's your warning. We'll try and stick to that. You've done the Ritos, right? Is that what you did?
I've done the Ritos.
Okay.
Like you, yeah.
Cool.
I just got to Rito Village.
Okay.
I did the what are they called? The Mer people, whatever they're called, first.
Zoras.
Zora.
The Zora. I did the Zoras first in Breath of the Wild, and the Rito last. So this is like different for me.
So we'll get back to the actual tutorial because I want to talk about that too. But like, they push you towards the Rito first pretty hard, and it makes sense as to why. Because you see you open up a lot of like the side stuff on your way to the Rito.
They tell you like, hey, you need to go to Rito Village.
Yeah.
Like,
did they
literally.
I was.
They push it.
They literally tell you that at the first town or
I was just
lookout town or whatever.
Then, yeah.
So
I just happened to go north, and that was like, oh, mountains, okay.
Oh, you're just like, I'll go that way.
But yeah. So we should start with the tutorial area. I think
the Great Sky Island
is amazing.
Yeah.
I think it is it's good because it shows off immediately the like verticality.
I think it was really awesome that they give you all the powers. Well, I'm sure there's more powers, but like they give you all of the like core powers right off the bat. Just like, you can use all these, you can build with them. Look at what you can do with them.
Well, it's the exact same it's the same format as Breath of the Wild because you get them in the shrines.
Yeah.
Right? So it's same. You wake up in a cave. You go out of the cave. I guess in this one you jump out of the cave.
Because you got most of them in Breath of the Wild too. In the
you got them
Great
with
Plateau,
the
right?
shrines in the Great Plateau, right?
Yeah.
So my like one complaint is too strong of a word, but like the thing that I want to point out about the Great Sky Island versus the Great Plateau is for the Great Plateau in Breath of the Wild, you walk out of the Shrine of Resurrection, you go down the hill, talk to the king, right? And then he sets you off like, hey, go to the shrines, right? But then you have the whole plateau as an open area for you to explore, which is great because that's basically a sample of what the whole game's going to be. Because then after you get off the Great Plateau, you have the whole map, which is just open to explore, and you still have 4 things you have to go do, right? So, the Great Sky Islands, in my opinion, were way more railroady,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
right? Like it was very linear.
I think this whole game is a little more friendly, if that makes sense.
I think
Yeah.
so.
than
Yeah,
Breath of the
the
Wild.
opening. But also at the same time, you can still just do whatever
You
you,
can still
want
just
on the
go
Great.
off the rails.
Like it might be railroady, but I just did whatever I felt like doing on the Great Sky Island. I was there for way too long.
I've talked to a lot of
That's
people
easy.
like since this game came out, like and since it was about to come out, I've just been spouting nothing but this is gonna be the best game that's ever made. I thought Breath of
Easily.
the Wild was in my top 5 games ever,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, oh, that didn't really appeal to me. I felt like there was like not enough direction for me. I felt like I want a defined to-do list, and Breath of the Wild just told me, hey, there's a big bad guy over there, kill him and do whatever else you want, right?
Yeah.
And I think that this game kind of alleviates that complaint. I guess it was more common than I thought, but it still gives people like us who like that open-ended concept the power to
Yeah.
do whatever you want
And
if you do.
the diversity of this game too. So you just
Yeah.
because that's one of the things, like, we'll talk about more once we get off the Great Sky Island here, but you have 3 distinct areas. Basically, you have 3 maps. You have
yeah.
you have the sky, you have the mainland, and then you got underground.
Right.
So like this is 3 times Breath of the Wild basically, because each one is about
Yeah.
the size of the main area.
Yeah,
which
it's
is insane. It's
so
huge.
what's interesting to me on that point actually is they did a really cool job with all the marketing and the hype cycle for this game. They never talked about the depths.
Yeah,
That was basically
they
hidden.
kept some secrets. Yeah,
Yeah, so they
Like, what-
hid all the depths, the size of Hyrule, from us.
Yes.
But my opinion so far with what I've seen of the map, that the Sky Islands are not quite as prevalent as I thought they were.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
not. There's
The
there's
sky
there's
is
They're
really
they're,
empty.
they're pretty
Yeah.
sparse. Like they're
Yeah.
very spaced out.
So saying 3 times Breath of the Wild is a little generous.
It is.
Easily twice though.
But you still have areas to explore and all of that
Yes.
are not part of the main map.
Yes, right. So you will end up going to specific parts of the Sky Island for specific things.
Yep.
Rito's fly, just saying. And then obviously the Great Sky Island, and I'm sure there's other ones that I just haven't seen yet. But a lot of them are just, oh wait, can I get to that island? I'm sure I can, and then you do it, and then this
Which is fun to do though.
Yeah,
But like to the friendliness thing, I think even the story is like that to some degree. And like again, trying to stay away from spoilers on this, but in Breath of the Wild, all of the main races honestly didn't really like you when you showed up, and they
No.
were basically like barely keeping it together or alive, and and you had to win them over and get some of their support, which was like not even really much support because they were barely staying alive. Like I think the Gerudo were like maybe the only ones who were actually like gave you someone to fight alongside you. Like they had an actual like standing army and stuff. Whereas this, like, you show up, and I've only seen the Rito so far, but there is a society there that is like, because you saved the world in the last one, right? You're the same.
Yeah, and
character
they
as you were
remember
in Breath
you're
of
the
Wild.
same one.
Yeah, so everybody likes you. They're like, oh, hey, I remember you. Like, I'd help you, but we're having problems. Can you help us deal with this? And there's a society that is like fully functioning there. Even Hyrule is not really like that battered up. Like bad
One
stuff
of-
is happening, but
It's,
it's like this
it's
is
rebuilding.
it's,
You are
it's
made
more
up-
lived in.
yeah, you are mid-apocalypse as opposed to post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like Breath of the Wild.
You're post
Yes.
apocalypse.
You're
Like,
you're post apocalypse.
Yeah.
You're in the midst of rebuilding, but a
Yeah.
current apocalypse is kind of happening.
Yeah, bad
Yeah.
things are currently happening to the world, as opposed to the world has been
Yes.
destroyed for
Sure.
some time
Yeah.
now, and you're trying to come in and fix it. Like,
One of the things on that note that I am annoyed that I haven't figured out yet. So definitely not story spoiler, but I have not figured out how long has happened since Breath of the Wild, right? Like how much time has passed between those two events, or how long Link was asleep in the beginning of the game, because it's
I think
very
it's-
unclear.
I
don't
think it's
think
like
that long, because they're
immediate.
still
Yeah,
searching.
I'm pretty sure.
They're still
I'm pretty sure
searching
it's
for him, right?
immediate. It's like immediate. I think. I don't think there's like a time. There's no 100 years like Breath of the Wild.
No,
It's
no, no,
not-
no. It's certainly not 100 years, but like it could be anywhere from a couple hours to like a couple weeks, month
yeah.
maybe 2.
Yeah, sure. But does
Yeah.
that really affect the story all that much? Like how long he's been
But
asleep?
people are like, people don't recognize Link too. People are like, you look
Well-
like Link. You have the same name as Link. He's a famous swordsman, but you kind of suck, right? Like,
I mean,
NPCs
his
doing that too.
his arm is different. I mean, there's.
Sorry, I got a prosthetic in the 3 days since you've seen me last, right? Like, so it
I
does
think
not affect it a whole lot. But I'm just curious. Like, it
The
bugs
time
me.
since Breath of the Wild kind of does, and that's an
Sure,
interesting
yeah.
thing.
Yes.
But there are characters who were young
Immediately,
like,
immediately.
Yeah, I think you can probably determine it by like the age gap in them. Like I'll be honest, I played through Breath of the Wild really hard when it came out, but I was not the kind of person who replayed it. I didn't pick it up again when the DLC for like the bikes came out and all that.
Right.
I was really hard completionist. I didn't get all the Korok seeds, but otherwise like I fully built Terrytown and all that, and like completed I think every shrine. I don't know if I actually found them all. But after that I put it down. It's like I have experienced this game and I'm done with it now. So
Sure.
I don't remember a lot of the story. I'm pretty sure that the young Rito we meet was in Breath of the Wild
Yes,
as a
Yes.
smaller child.
He was a chick when
Yeah.
you saw him, I think.
So if you know Rito lifespans, I guess you can kind of
Well,
infer.
hey, you also have Pyrrha.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she grew up, but like, grew
Yeah, the
up,
internet's real weird about that one.
and because she's like over a century old, but like reversed her age to be like a child in Breath of the Wild, and now is like a full adult. Like, whatever. And then of course,
It
internet.
can't have been that long, right? Like
Video
the,
game logic.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
I think they purposely are keeping it vague so that they don't have to have perfect continuity.
Yes.
Yeah, I
is-
agree with that.
I think the idea is that it's been some
Some
small
time has
number
passed.
some
Enough-
small number
yeah.
of years. Like
Enough
if-
time has
if even that,
passed for
yeah.
things to happen and people to grow up a little bit.
And for like just like you said, society to kind of come back. You have more NPCs, whatever.
Yeah.
Which lends itself so well to just the world is more fleshed out, more lived in. You talk to so many more NPCs, and you just see kind of less bokoblins taking over spaces where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Which is cool. There's a newspaper, there's a press now or whatever. Like, that's
with
cool.
a pelican dude.
I think there's
Right.
like a lot of implications to that, right? Because like yes, it's way more technically and like writing like
Sure.
impressive that they are able to establish this new world now, but it also gets rid of that. I think was part of the appeal of Breath of the Wild, that feeling of the world being so lonely and inhospitable, and like anywhere you go,
Sure.
there's something that can
Yeah.
pop out of the ground or the sky or anything that's just going to absolutely murder you, and there's no one to save you. Like that was always, at least to me, it felt like it was always hovering over my head when I played
Right.
Breath of the Wild. And now it's like, yeah, but there's probably someone who can help me out, or I'm supposed to be helping, or like I can run away to this town and get shelter there from these monsters. And
Yeah.
that's kind of gone now.
I can see that. I think it struck a pretty good balance though. In this
Yeah, in
game
terms
so
of
far.
actual gameplay, I think it's effectively the same. It's just
Yeah.
the atmosphere to me. I
Sure,
feel less
sure.
like there's less pressure.
But I'm sure that's intended though. That's because it's good storytelling. How
It is.
of the state of the world where it's at.
And I think when they made Breath of the Wild, when they made that world, that continuity, because every Zelda game has its own continuity, or at least every set of Zelda games has its own continuity, right? They didn't really realize how much people would like this. Like with Hyrule Warriors, the world, like they fleshed out the world aggressively, like the whole history behind everything. And it seems like, at least from what I can tell online, this is the version of Hyrule and its people and Link and Zelda and whatever magic is in the world that people like the most, and it is the most fleshed out. It's the closest to an actual bit of like continuous lore that they've ever done.
Sure.
And so they're just continuing to
Well,
expand on it. And that's
it's
awesome.
also one of the few instances where they have 3 games that correspond very closely to the same timeline.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first time there's been 3. There's been 2 before, but never,
this is
never
this
a
is
trilogy.
this is the only time too. Like I know Majora's Mask is the same Link as Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
but this is the only one that I think that is an actual sequel.
Direct sequel.
Because
I
Majora's
think,
Mask was more of a fever dream kind of situation.
Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks were direct
were
sequels.
Were they direct sequels?
And I
I want to say so.
I think they were the same continuity as Wind Waker as well.
Yes. Yeah, all the Toon ones are the same, conveniently enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's
But
some,
those were like they were true
But they weren't
Zelda
the
games.
same. They weren't the
I thought
same
were
Link
great.
though, right?
Yeah, like
They were.
They were the same Link. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure.
Spirit and Phantom were. I don't think
Spirit
Wind
and
Waker was.
Okay.
Anyway,
It's been a long time since I played.
There's a lot. There's a lot of
so much
games.
to Zelda lore, but we need to talk about this game.
Which timeline number are you on?
So actually, if they chart it out, like these games are so far removed in the future
they're
from
10,000
the other
years.
games.
There's a 10,000 year gap, and
Yeah.
don't know how many year gap between that
Yes.
and the actual other like
So they
Ocarina
very
of Time.
purposely said, here's every other game. We're gonna separate it as far as we reasonably can.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Oh no, go on. Finish your
I was-
thoughts.
I was-
That was
I was-
gonna move
I was
on.
saying I think it's the one where Ganondorf wins in Ocarina of Time. I think that's the actual timeline we're on.
No, they're so far removed. They're like, yeah, they kind of converged back into this one.
Yeah.
They're like, you weirdos who actually want to like make this a unified timeline. Sure, we'll throw you that bone, but
Yeah.
nothing else. Like,
Yeah.
They just said
10,000
whatever.
years later.
So, after you done the Great Sky Island, what were your thoughts when you finished all 4 shrines, got all 4 of the basic powers? Raru, great name. Sounds like Scooby-Doo.
Rabu.
Disappeared into the wind, and then you just jumped off the ledge.
yeah, that was one of the like.
Where do I go?
I fell off at one point during the tutorial, and so I was like, "Oh, am I actually supposed to do this?" And like, I'd seen the trailers, so I was like, "Yeah, okay, I guess I'll just jump." But it was the same kind of feeling as Breath of the Wild, despite it being the same engine in the same world. It's like, this is expansive. This is huge. I could be anywhere.
That was one of the first times where you got a good look
Yeah.
at the world below you at the time.
God, and it's such a long fall. It is a
It is.
long
If you
fall.
It's
you
even,
don't dive,
even
yeah.
if you dive, it's a pretty long fall.
Yeah.
But then
I
if
didn't
you're-
dive. No, I just float like, and I was like,
whatever.
I used my hang glide. I did not go the way I was supposed to go. I
You did
ended
not
up.
have the hang glider
Link
yet.
is a
Oh yeah.
a psychopath in terms of just this level of. Have you ever jumped from a really high rock into water before?
Something
when it's like-
Triforce of Courage.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it's that. Like
Plot.
Once you jump off of something sufficiently high, like if you jump into a pool, even like a diving board, you are in the water before you really like understand what was happening. Before your brain processes what's happening. If you jump from a sufficiently high distance, your brain realizes I am falling. Oh, cricketune noise here. Like you are like you recognize it and your heart stops for a second. The idea of just I mean I've never gone skydiving, so I guess that's just what they've done too, right? But like it gives me like
you
a
do
little
not
bit of,
survive
like, crawling feeling.
hitting water going at terminal velocity. Like you
like, if
don't.
you hit-
Link should be dead many times over.
Yeah, I was like, I loved that when I saw the game say like, if you hit water from any distance, you'll be fine. Like,
No,
Have
it said deep water.
Deep
So
water. It's gotta
not
be
a
deep water.
puddle.
But
that's the problem. That's the
if it's
problem.
5 feet or more,
Yeah,
you're good. Like
If Link can submerge himself in the water, you're safe. Yeah, but
Yeah, 'cause-
oh god.
no, I was saying if you ever gone like inner tubing or something, like hit water going really fast,
That still
It
hurts.
it hurts. It's like hitting solid ground.
Surface tension's a thing.
let alone terminal
Yes.
velocity.
You're right.
Diving into it, that
Yeah,
doesn't help all
similar.
that
Like
much.
what? God, again, like I said, trying to stay away from spoilers. Just gonna say for Harrison, the Rito trampolines. Like I hit those from very high up.
Oh, those are fun. When I
They were
first
a lot of
realized
fun,
what
but it was
they
another
were,
one. It's like I wonder if this is gonna kill me, and it didn't. I was like, okay, great, but it should. It should.
It also, if you did you notice that it like completely refilled your stamina when you hit it? Too?
Yes,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay, that's a mechanic thing that makes sense, but like in reality, that would just destroy my knees. Um, so
Link is not an aging Pokemon player though, so he'll
also
Yeah,
true.
true.
He's
This
in
is
much
true.
better shape than I am. So you jump off the Great Sky Island. You land in a way too shallow lake in the middle of Hyrule Field. I consider that you're still in the tutorial,
Same.
Yeah.
right?
I would say you are until you are like literally on. I would say until the first whatever glyph, until the first tier.
Well, the tower, the first tower.
I was gonna say the
and-
tower. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
once you hit the paraglider, you're good. Because
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
even the geoglyphs are still a side mission.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'd say the tower. You're right.
Yeah, that
Because you actually have
tower.
your
is-
paraglider.
I-
and you
That,
have
that
all those
tower.
abilities.
That tower opens everything. Yeah, that's what the paraglider. Yeah.
I got into a shrine that needed the paraglider before I had it. Actually. I was
Oh,
like,
you didn't go straight to Lookout Landing or whatever?
No, I was just exploring. I was like, I want to
Yeah.
see what's around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found the depths. Like,
That's
Yeah,
wild
weirdly,
to me.
I didn't. I saw those holes in the ground. I was like, that's less interesting than what I can actually see over there. So I'm just not going to do this. And so
That's-
I've done.
I was like,
I've
this
done,
is
an
scary
entire-
looking.
I've done like an entire quest wing, like an entire like quarter of the main story before I've seen the underground.
That's because you can't see the underground.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I eventually found like a side quest that like it's like you should go here, go check it out, and that's what I'm about to do.
Was it the one that it's from Lookout Landing that
Yes,
Pierre and
yeah.
Robbie? Yeah. So that's like your initial like, hey, you
Yeah.
know, go check out the depths one, right? Because so another thing that I really like about this game, now that we're this far into the story, gameplay, Lookout Landing is like a nice hub.
It is.
It
and
is a good hub.
You have beds. You get a stable. You can teleport there. Like, you can buy like food and basic materials and stuff. It's nice.
And
Yeah.
not only that, but like as you progress, it grows.
It's like Terrytown was so cool that you got to build that up, but it was when the game was already over, and
Yeah,
it
it's
was,
true.
I was like, why did I bother with this? Like,
yeah.
So have you been to Terrytown and Tears of the Kingdom?
I have not yet. No.
Okay.
Does it
I
persist
know
from
some-
my save?
No. I think it is fully built.
Okay.
But I know some cool stuff that I shouldn't know yet about what you can do in Terrytown, which
Okay.
is really neat. I won't say it for the episode.
Thank you. I may ask you, or I may want to discover it myself. We'll see.
It's kind of it's interesting. It's a cool side thing.
Okay.
I think a little better than more rewarding than what Terrytown was in the Breath of the Wild. I think.
Speaking of Breath of the Wild,
Yes.
I just want to like gush about. Like, I've already talked to you guys about this outside of the show, but I love that they gave me back my horses.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I had both the Ganon and Zelda horses. And like the Zelda one is whatever, it's just a fast horse, but the Ganon one has unlimited stamina and 5 stars on strength and is twice the size of any other horse. And so y'all were talking about fights you're not supposed to do yet. I found those and I just won because early
horse
in the
trampled
game
them?
with 4 hearts, I just trampled over some massive like goblin monster bosses. The only thing that ever stopped me was when they actually had when they were on structures and my horse couldn't go up the structure. So I would run by, shoot them with arrows so they would fall off the structure, and then I'd run them over.
Okay, so you also haven't seen a what, battle talus yet? or
Yeah, I've seen the
whatever?
taluses too. I didn't have my horse yet, so I didn't try to fight that.
okay.
Yeah,
Can-
I've been
can you- can
I've
you
been
run-
smashed by
Can
those
you
things.
run over them with the horse?
Oh, I have no idea. No, probably not. 'cause
Probably
the
not.
only
They're
weak
really
point
big.
Is the top thing.
But it's Ganon's horse.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like basically invincible. The only
I
thing
do
that
not
has
have
actually,
Ganon's horse, so I cannot.
the
test
only
that.
thing that's actually stopped me is terrain. I was heading towards the Rito area again, like not by the story. I was just like, oh, that part of the map is unexplored. I'm gonna go try to find a tower. That looks like a tower. I'm gonna go there. And the only thing that stopped me was like, there is no way I can get my horse up there. So I guess he's staying here until I come back. And they are very loyal. They will just stay there and never move until you come back for them, and they're marked on
Yeah.
the map.
Yep.
And so when I was done with the Rito, I was like, okay, I'm going to go on this tower, shoot myself up, and glide over to where my horse was, and he was still there. And I landed directly on him and rode home.
Glorious. Yeah, that's there's so much. One of what was going to be my closing thoughts, but I'll say it now because it fits right in. This game I did not realize how much I was missing a like single player experience that I can just go get lost in.
Yeah.
And
This
that's
is
what
it.
this game is.
It's hard to do that these days. I feel like
It
Yeah.
is.
there have been so many games and like over time that like you lose that kind of sense of wonder and mystery, and then it's just like you look at a game now and you just instantly decode all the systems underneath it, and you determine what is the most optimal way for me to beat this. And like
Yeah.
Pokemon's a little cheating because like the games are like inherently very simple, at least from a single player perspective, right? But like I've
And we
played a
also
lot
play
of
it for the competitive.
I've played and that's the only, the competitive is very complex, but it's not, you don't get lost in it this way, right? Like it's
Right.
I've played
Just-
a lot of AAA like single player campaigns or whatever, and it's always go here, do this thing, and it's fun and it's
Yeah.
cinematic and whatever. But there's never a sense of like, oh boy, I wonder what's next. It's like you know exactly what's next. It says it on the top of your screen, and there's a big like binging symbol on your compass. And if you go the wrong way for more than 10 seconds, the game will yell at you and tell you to turn around.
Yeah.
Like
So on the point of quest markers, I don't know how, I forget. I just don't remember how they did in Breath of the Wild, but I really appreciate, to the same point, right? You can still get lost. You still have quests. You have a quest log that you can like, look at and review, and it updates as you do different chapters of the quest. But you can only have one tracked quest at a time. Unlike other AAA big open games, you can have just all of them and just so much to see.
overwhelming, yeah.
But like, just have one, whatever you want to focus on, and don't worry. You can try to focus on one quest. You're gonna get distracted.
Yes.
You're gonna go off and do
Yeah.
something else.
They're
on
gonna
your way to that
they're
one
just,
little
they're just
marker.
gonna set a pile of wheels and stuff and be like, hey, come build something with this. Guess what I'm gonna go do? We're gonna go build something with
and
this.
The building is just a whole
yeah, I was gonna say-
other can of worms. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah, so yeah, before we get to the building, I just want to
Okay.
say, so I like y'all know I'm obsessed with Guild Wars or whatever, and they tried to do something really similar to what Breath of the Wild and all this has, is like the whole ooh, look at that type of thing, right? They're like the big advertisement thing that Guild Wars had when it first came out, or Guild Wars 2 had when it first came out, was there are no quests. There is no quest log. There are no NPCs with exclamation points over their head. You go into the world and you will see stuff happening, and you'll go participate in that. And when when that's over, you're gonna just see something else happening, and you'll run over and you'll do that. And the world is just alive, and events lead into other events. And it was a really cool idea until they realized that that's not really how MMOs work long term. And once you've seen all these things happen a couple times, it stops being as exciting. So you absolutely do get lost in that world your first time through or whatever, right? But an MMO involves you being addicted for a decade, like, and so they eventually realized that wasn't how it should go, and then they kind of like retrofitted a quest log in, and
Okay.
it was bad. It's kind of like what you're talking about with the AAA games, where it's like
Overwhelming.
every quest is active all at once, and everything could
Yeah.
always happen to you, and you can look up the things you're supposed to do for all these quests, but there's never like you should go do this right now. And be distracted if you want, but like it allows you to focus. And I think they have just struck the perfect balance in this game, where like
Well,
all the things are
think-
technically active, but you're allowed to focus on one thing. It's an amazing quest log system.
I think beyond that, it's even like in WoW or maybe Guild Wars, but like and probably some AAA games, you can go and manually be like, I'm going to turn all my quests off except for this one, right? And then you can try and focus on that one quest. Tears of the Kingdom says no, you can only have one, right? Like it's a limitation. You cannot even select more than one quest at a time, or you can have, I think, 0 quests. I'm pretty sure
You can toggle it off. I'm pretty sure.
you can toggle it. I could check real quick to make sure that I'm not mistaken things,
Spreading
and then also have an
misinformation.
excuse to play Breath of the Wild while we're talking about. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom also.
And I think one of the things you're trying to get at too, it's like it's not a like in your face kind of system.
Truly.
You know,
not
it's
in your
not. It's like you said. It's not like it doesn't yell at you whenever you try and just explore. Like it's
right. It doesn't
it's
punish
like,
you for
It's
playing
like
the game.
it's here's some gold points on the map. If you want to go to them, you can.
Right.
But if not, like have fun.
That's
Like,
neat. You can come back later. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I checked, yes, you can have 1 or 0 active, and that's it. But the other cool thing on that note is like you can also just put your own markers on the map,
Yes, that's
Right.
I would not be able to play this game without that because I love
It does
like,
the markers are great. Like by
that.
like
That
I
wasn't
think,
Breath of
Yeah.
the Wild 2 though.
yeah,
was.
it was.
Yeah,
And
of
use
the
the Sheikah slate at the
Yeah.
same way. Use the Pura pad, right?
Yeah.
So like you don't really see them when you're running around, but like if you look through the lens, like you have a big beam of light sticking up
And it does. You can the stamps show up on the mini map. Is that true?
on the map.
The map,
It should show
I
up
don't
on the
know-
map.
I don't know about the mini map, but yeah, it's
Okay.
either way, it's
Both
really
of them.
nice. Right? You climb up really
Yeah.
high and you see off in the distance. Ooh, that's cool. I want to go to that, but I'm definitely going to lose my bearings.
Right.
Marker, and now there's a big laser beam going up into the sky when I look in that direction. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry,
my-
you
through
have
my path.
both the markers, the laser beams, and also the stamps, right?
Yeah,
So, no, but it's cool. Like you have the chance to explore this massive world. Again, now you have the surface, the depths, and the sky islands, right? You can you can mark all those maps up, and you will want to because there are things you want to remember that they exist, right? Whether it be I can find fairies here, or here's a good resource of stones or whatever.
yeah, because stuff does respawn eventually, and
Yeah, I mean you
everything.
can
They had the
easily-
They had the Blood Moon event.
Yes.
yeah. Oh, I meant resources, but yes, enemies also do come back.
Yeah,
Resources spawn just kind of
and things you build
more often than the Blood Moon.
And every time you load a new area or something, your stuff you build kind of disappears.
Building,
is sad. Yeah.
It's okay.
Which-
So
Which your
We all
giant
know
bridge that you built across the map will disappear eventually.
we all know that auto build is a thing, right?
Yes,
I did not know that actually.
Oh,
It
never
is
mind. I thought it was a very bad everyone knew about it
skill.
because it's another power, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
you get the ability to just
so-
like rebuild something
yeah,
you've built before.
Yep.
And it's cool.
Basically.
So okay, sorry, skip ahead
Yeah, so
45 seconds because
Yeah.
I want to mention this real quick because it's a really cool thing for the building aspect, right? Because the building is a I don't know, wild addition to this game, right? Like it doesn't even make sense to be here's a Zelda game where you can build vehicles, or well, we'll talk about this. But like auto build, you can remember builds and then use the stuff around it, like around you. So you can like, hey, there's Zonai fans or whatever, and I build a thing. Or I didn't realize this, so this is a warning. If you click build and you don't have the stuff, it costs Zonai like the raw material.
Oh, it'll take it out of the pods
yeah.
you own.
It Green Lanterns stuff into existence. for
Whatever.
you,
Yeah, it just makes it.
which is cool.
But it
when
uses up
I
your resources. Yeah.
after I'm done with Zonai stuff beyond this, but I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Is there any
Yeah,
way to
but-
store your buildings? Like I've made this cool
Yes.
battle mech. Can
Yes.
I store
You
this
can-
and
no,
not
you
have
can-
to reuse my to
Oh.
use
You have
new
to, you have to
resources.
rebuild it if you leave
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That
you can
sucks.
you restore the design,
Okay.
Yeah.
but
That's
you
at least
can't re-
good, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
'cause-
if you do
But
engineer
like
something up,
I'd like to stable my plane the way I stable my horse. You know.
yeah. See,
I tried that.
That would
when I
be
first-
nice. That'd be nice if we had an area you could store like vehicles and stuff you build.
Yeah,
like if you had like a little
have
hole.
I'm sure there are
garage.
technical limitations. Apparently, there's a limit to how many things can be stuck together too. Probably
Yeah.
because they don't want the game to chug from someone building something made of 1,000 pieces. But like, make it a limitation. Like you can store up to like 30 like objects stuck together in this hangar. Whatever. Like
Right. Yeah.
that would be
yeah,
cool. But
that'd be cool.
maybe DLC.
That would be neat. One of the things, so sidebar, then back to building stuff. One of the things that's what someone pointed out, or I saw somewhere, that's super cool for Tears of the Kingdom, is that they could up the performance of it at least a little bit because it doesn't have to run on the Wii U.
Right? Yeah. That's
Because
100%.
Breath
Which is
of the Wild
crazy
is
to
a
think.
Wii U game.
Yes, which is insane.
Which is why like the render distance looks better and like they can do a couple more cool things. Like it still looks the same. It's still the
But
same
just-
engine, right?
But this what they did with this engine on the Switch of all things.
Yeah,
Like is
we were still using something that was
mind-blowing.
outdated when it released.
yeah, outdated Android hardware when it released.
like these
Pining
guys
for
don't.
Switch 2.
Yes, they don't. They do not pay these guys enough that built this game. Like
No.
it is.
Are you sure? It's
Insane.
a $70 game.
It should probably be more.
It's worth $70.
It
for
is.
every penny.
It is.
Like if he asked me to pay $100 to own this game,
I would have paid
okay,
$100 for this game.
yeah,
I don't think people are complaining about $70. We were paying $50 for N64 games.
exactly.
In the
No,
late
it was like they were like
Which
60.
is
It was more
more
than
than
50. They were
70
like
now.
60. they're like 60 to 65 back then. Like
Yeah.
that was
in the late
and-
90s, and inflation has happened.
yes.
Yeah.
When minimum wage like at $7.25 was actually comparable to $15 an hour kind of thing.
Right.
Like so like you should be paying $150 for these games. Like
Well, don't get
If
too
you-
excited now.
no. But
But something like, yeah, okay, here's a can of worms. Another episode, probably. It's worth it. $70 is fine for games nowadays.
especially for this game.
For
especially for a
AAA
game of
games,
this
yeah.
and for a game
Sure,
of this
yes, yes,
quality.
yes.
Like a game like this is something like they like
Okay,
Ubisoft wishes like Assassin's Creed would be.
yeah, how many
Like-
bugs have you found in this game?
None.
Exactly. There
There
are
is
some
a
cool
glitch.
exploits. Yeah, there are
There
some
is
cool glitches and
there
exploits.
is there is a duplication exploit,
I was trying to do that earlier this evening, and I could not do it. So I need to. try
which I
harder.
feel like it's something that will get patched out
absolutely.
Almost certainly,
because
yeah.
it is an easy patch for him to kind of get that thing out of there. So and
So
it's
watch
not
out for
quick.
Go find videos on that. There's a gazillion of them now because they all came out today.
Yeah.
I was watching YouTube today, and I was like, oh, there's a new one. Oh, there's the same exploit on a new video. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it has just been super cool to see what people can build. Like we
Oh my
talked about
gosh.
this outside of the podcast, but
People are building. I'm so confused.
planes and jets and robots and satellites.
So yeah, like laser target satellites. It's like, what the heck? I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I'm happy that I put 4 wheels on a piece of plywood and
stuck a
drove
fan
it.
on the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I don't have a
actually-
and
steering-
aimed it downhill. Like
That's
don't
how
have a
I got to
steering
look
wheel
at
yet.
landing.
I can
you
attach it to the
built the
back of my
car?
horse.
Yeah. Before I even had a steering wheel, I built a car and then went to look
Just
at landing.
went straight line. Hope that
I would
gravity doesn't
straight
take
line.
you somewhere you don't want to go.
I would straight line with my battery. My battery would run out. I jump off, ultra hand, pick it up, point it in the right direction, and go. It was very fun. There's stream VODs of that somewhere. Yeah, it's so funny.
I
People
thought I was
building-
being cool, like putting a flamethrower on a shield and all. Like
Have you seen like monsters or constructs with that? Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Yeah. I don't remember if that was in the. I forget where that ended up being, but like they do that
There's
too.
some on Sky Island, which
Okay.
which I wanted to ask you guys. So go back to Sky Island. Is there anything that you did that was you were like, oh, okay, this is like cool or something, or it didn't work out, or something that did work out?
for
like-
building or just in general.
Just using the kind of new game mechanics and stuff.
I think it not really. I feel like everything was like you were supposed to do this, like with the hooks and attaching a platform to a hook and riding
Yeah.
down a line, right?
That they did have
I did-
railroading stuff.
I did.
Yeah.
I did kind of balance beam my way across one of them without building anything.
Oh,
once.
so that would
but-
so the railroad that had the broken track.
Yes, yeah. I didn't know what to
Yeah.
do
That-
there. Like, could you fix that?
No,
No,
you just
no,
put it on
but-
one. You hang it.
So
Oh, you just hang it on one. Okay.
Yeah.
oh,
So
see, that's the
What'd you
fun
do?
thing. Oh, so what I did, so I took a cart, I put it on it, and so they had like the hooks hanging there. I used
Uh-huh.
those as a counterweight. So when you go over the track, you don't just tip over. You got
Oh,
weight.
that's
You got
clever.
weight
Oh,
on the
yeah.
left,
What? That's wild.
Yeah.
and I put like
I
so
might
I
go
used,
try that. After
so I
this.
made counterweight on the left side of it. And on the right side, I had all the fans. That way, it would keep that side moving forward more. So, like the right side would
you can
stay
definitely play with some
elevated.
really cool physics stuff here.
Yeah. Yes.
The physics is really nice in this
And
game.
so whenever I did, I just kind of zoom and just boop and just
I will say my only complaint is that maneuvering things through 3D space and rotating them to be just
rotating is
is
horrible.
awkward. I'm not going to call it horrible because I have gotten used to it.
Well-
I'm pretty I feel pretty proficient in it now, but it took
Yeah.
a while. I would say a solid couple hours before I felt like
Some
I could
items,
move
some
this how I
items are
wanted
worse
to.
than others.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, for sure.
There was a shrine where it was basically just rotating big 3D shapes and moving them through holes in
That
the
was
right
fun.
configuration. There was one of them where it's like I know how I want this to be positioned, and I was just like, how exactly do I get the controls to do the thing that I want them to do?
So I've realized my personal journey of realizing how Ultra Hand works and making it work for me was realizing that when you hit R, and I had to remember to hit R and not L because I do that all the time.
R
That
for rotate.
I didn't realize that. But the left and right like rotating part, right? So you can't just flip it this way.
Yeah,
which is what I want to do.
You have to change.
90% of the time.
You can use one of them to change what axis you actually want to rotate it on, but then you have to move it back to the way to the original position that you want, which is
that's weird.
Awkward. Like,
and then the left and right, for some reason, I always think like it shows the arrows going like on one part of the sphere. I always think it's the opposite side, which then I end up rotating the wrong way all the time. Yeah. So I either say, okay, I want to hit this the wrong way 4 times because it'll get to the right way that I want to go, or something. I don't know. Like it's weird.
It is.
I agree with that.
It is awkward how it works.
After,
like they need like something that does it like perpendicular. Like if you just had a quick button to hit.
Literally one more dimension, one more angle. I don't know if you could like hold another bumper while you do it to have a different dimension. It might get even more
R
awkward
and
just
ZR.
Yeah.
Yeah, just something just to like rotate it 90 degrees even. Like if you just had like options like that instead of
they only rotate in 45s.
Yeah.
Right? So like every button press is 45 degrees.
But I think it's the visual of it though. Just doing the 45 at a time just throws you off. You're like, oh wait, that's not right. So you overcorrect and
I always double click. I'm always thinking 90 degrees, you gotta double click, right? Unless and you can always what is it? R and ZL, I think, like fixes it, like resets it to a certain position, which is convenient, which is nice. And
the reset is just to how you found it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
Or how it was when you before you started holding the bumper.
I thought every object had a default position.
Might be true. Maybe that's just how I found it when I tested it. I'm not gonna like be adamant that I'm correct about anything.
No, I'm not sure either now that I'm thinking about it, because that's what I always thought. Because I'd pick something up and then you could. I'll test it later. Maybe I'm wrong.
If we're getting into the nitty gritty of mechanics,
informative on this
think
podcast.
I think we might be through our like initial thoughts on this game.
I got one more too for the Sky Island though. So did y'all fight that big construct that has a bunch of blocks?
So, I saw that thing
on Skyline. Yeah, it's like an arena. It's like on an arena. Like you have a circular pad. It's on.
It's on its own island, right in the archipelago.
I don't know that I ever even came across it.
So you could easily miss it, right? Because it's actually right
and
by
it's not easy to get
rail.
to. Like it's
So I was gonna go back to it because okay. First off, did you beat it?
Yes.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Did you get what? Did you get a map?
Map?
Never mind.
No.
You get some cool rewards for beating those things. I beat a different one. And you get a map.
I got like some weapons and a bunch of items and stuff.
You do get some cool drops and the cores, the horns, whatever. Can we just get it out of the way?
I shoot a lot of those at things, but
that every enemy in this game is horny.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
That's different levels of it. But
wrap it up.
No, but so I thought I had a good idea to beat that thing because that's why I wanted to go to that thing. Because it's the blocks. Mm-hmm. You have to take the blocks off. You got to rip the blocks off of it, and so you can get the main body block. Well, it was in one of its forms. Like, wait, what? Are we talking about something different?
No. I just didn't realize that I can use my abilities on this thing.
Oh, so you were?
You just you could with a stick.
Well, you
could use Ultra Hand to pull the blocks out of it. And then whenever you grab the main...
That makes so much sense!
So it's got the one block that's the main one. You can shake it loose. Yeah, and you can shake it loose and pull it out and the whole thing falls apart.
Oh! So there's different levels of that thing too? And like it's
got different stages.
Yeah.
Too. Well, it's like a boss battle. Like
they're all mini bosses, right?
Yeah.
But there's like constructs 1, 2, and 3 of those things. Like I stumbled into a level 3 one in the depths. I was like, I'll go fight this, like the idiot that I am. And then I was like, I can't beat this, so then I ran. But like I was trying to ascend into part of it because that's a thing. But I didn't think the Ultra Hand stuff away.
Yeah.
Or even reverse time on things.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
But see, I thought I had this cool idea. I was like, man, I'm so freaking smart because I was grabbing the blocks. I was like, if I just take the blocks and just yeet them over the side, it's like it can't get bigger, and I can just leave it so it's a one block. But no, it reconstructs the blocks. And I thought I was so.
I won't try and outsmart the blocks.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't make them, because I was like, oh man, this is a great idea. I'm just gonna take the blocks and just throw them away, so it's just a one block. It'll be easy to beat. I was like, this makes great sense, and then it reforms and starts shooting blocks at me and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I died like 4 times trying to kill that thing.
Yeah, I need to go back. I've been meaning to go back to that specific one and beat it just to see what it drops.
So that was a fun. I was like, why is this thing on this thing's hard? Like,
but it's not in your main path, right? That's why everyone missed it.
Yeah, I missed it entirely. They had some of that on the Great Plateau as well. Like, you can maybe fight this if you want to, but you're probably not supposed to.
Yeah. This is for the people who like know the mechanics really well, know how to beat this thing.
But there's some cool things though that we've been seeing too. It's like that one, I think, didn't Bruno share it? The beating the Lionel with a rock.
That was from Breath of the Wild, but yes, yeah.
That was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
oh.
you could just magnesis a rock over their head and bonk.
So okay, but
you had to stun them by shooting them in the weak spot, and then they'd be like, then you could just bonk them repeatedly and do it again once they.
So we could do that in this game though, but also doesn't the reverse? So if you pick something up with the Ultra Hand and you reverse it, it will go the path you did it.
Yes.
So you could do that just one time, beat the Lionel over the head. No. And then reverse it, and then it should beat it some more, right?
Some more, then you have to Ultra Hand it again because it's then backwards in time.
But like, so I mean, if you only got to do it like twice, like beat it twice. If you do half its health, you can just kill it.
You also have to hope the Lionel doesn't move.
Yeah. Well, that's why you stun it with an arrow. Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, it looks silly, but that was the reward for you being able to shoot it squarely in its weak spot. From point blank. Like against the strongest enemy in the game, like
which things aren't easy. Like
to do that,
what's the big Cyclops things? What are those called? Hinox, yeah. Like those things have a giant eye, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to shoot their eye when you're running away from it.
Now we have the Keese eyeballs to auto home onto.
It is convenient.
There we go.
Or Aracudas.
Yes.
Also,
I got those later. Yeah.
Yeah, because I fight a Hinox, and I was like, man, why can I not hit this giant eyeball in the middle of it? Like, I'm trying to run away. Yeah.
That was very easy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, well. I'm running away from this thing.
You gotta be a true gamer, pro gamer.
Yeah. I'm a Pokemon player. My mechanics are a little slow sometimes with the fingers.
Fair enough, you old man. Okay, I have at least one more question for both of you. When you complete 4 shrines and you go to pray at a goddess statue, are you stamina people or heart people?
Alternate.
Stamina.
I don't know, not a 50-50 alternate. I'll do like 3 stamina to 1 heart.
I think that's fair. I might be doing that because you get hearts when you complete a main area, which I forgot about. So now I just got another heart for completing the Rito, so I might just get an extra stamina wheel for my next one.
I want to at least I'm one away.
Use the stamina though for like so much, like
the climbing in particular is super
climbing and just hang gliding, like being able to, if you could just hang onto your glider, yeah. So use that a lot more, I think, than hearts. Hearts you can get away.
I like not dying. It's a good thing.
Yeah, just don't get hit.
Not dying is very easy. I farm fairies.
There you go.
I have like a couple places marked on my map where I know fairies spawn. And I'm like, oh, it's been a couple of in-game days. I should go stockpile up some fairies.
And most of the things I've ran into though, it's like one shot me.
About those.
Yeah.
I keep getting like one shot by things, so I'm like, I just can't get hit. Like that, I'm playing it like I'm playing like
Dark Souls.
Souls, or like just don't get hit.
I just unlocked the first Great Fairy, and then upgraded all the gear that I could. I'm like, yes, I have more armor now.
Oh, and also on that note, did you know you can repair things in this game? I saw that.
I did not.
Tidbit.
So the Rock Octoroks.
Yes.
Will not. They will actually repair and upgrade.
Oh, I did see that clip. Yeah, you have to throw your gear into
let it suck it in,
spit it back to you.
Yeah,
but once it breaks, it's gone. You have to repair it with damage.
Yes.
So once it's damaged, you can go find one. Now the problem is a Rock Octorok can only do 1 item. So it repairs 1 item, you kill it, and then it comes back.
I
event
assume
like
they're
after
in,
Blood
like,
Moon.
After the
they're
Blood
in the
Moon,
Goron land, or
Yes.
Okay.
There's a bunch around. There's multiple ones, so
Yeah.
you can.
Is it just the Rock Octoroks?
Yep.
Okay.
It's just a Rock Octoroks. Yep.
Which
But that's a
also,
cool like kind of upgrade to how they used to be. Like it's pretty cool.
Rock Octorok rolls off the tongue.
Rock Octorok.
Anyway, anything else about Tears of the Kingdom you want to
Go
talk
play
about
it.
for
Go buy
first
it.
impressions?
Spend your money. Quit Pokemon. Play. Okay. Also, hold on. This game runs
Shetland's going off the
so
rails.
good. So yes, this game's so good. It runs so well. And then we got Scarlet and Violet.
It does make Scarlet and Violet look like
Man, it
like
garbage,
sucks.
utter trash, like
utter trash. Like
Yeah.
this
it's
what I thought.
bad.
Trash. Like
Like,
it is
it's-
like just everything about like there's nothing about Scarlet and Violet that could even hold like
No.
yeah.
a
that-
candle to
I'm not gonna
Tears of the
argue with
Kingdom.
you. Like,
No,
there's-
It's
that-
insane.
yeah.
It's not
It
even
is.
like they tried to be ambitious and failed. It's like the
Yeah, they just did like did you like I don't know like they could just take like this intern from Tears of the Kingdom and let him work at Game Freak and just help out like
So I wonder.
the people
I mean,
who worked on Xenoblade also helped with this game. Apparently, like this has been
Right.
This has been Nintendo's like all-star cast.
Monolith
Yeah.
Soft is they're wizards too. Like they are right up there with like first party Nintendo wizards.
I'm not a big Xenoblade player, but from what I've seen of those games, they are similarly
Yes.
very well done. They are also taking advantage. They are using this awful hardware to its absolute maximum potential.
oh yeah and like you thought Breath of the Wild I feel like that game pushed this thing to its almost
Yeah.
limit and this game takes that beyond
when
like-
Breath of the Wild
early-
made us tricked us into thinking that the Switch was actually reasonably decent hardware, and it turned out it was just people with magical powers coding
Yeah,
that
it's
game.
true.
So like,
yeah
and what's more, like when reviews of Tears of the Kingdom were coming out and early like whatever reviewers were saying stuff like this game makes Breath of the Wild look like a
a
tech demo
Yeah,
or like a first draft and like I was
it
like
really does
could it? And holy crap, yeah, it does.
it really does and it's just like I feel like it's just the physics just the feel of the game is just something
it
extraordinary
feels like the real. I mean, we were joking about how all this stuff should kill you, and yes, it should. But like, it feels like the real world. It feels like if
when you
something
drop
is-
something it drops how it should
Yeah,
you know
it
things
rolls down
bounce
a
how
hill.
they should yeah
I killed some choo-choos at the top of a mountain, and I was like, okay, I want their jelly, and their jelly rolled away from me faster than I could run. It's like, well,
Yep.
that makes sense. I guess I'm mad about it, but yeah,
Yeah.
And like the
but
The
things
only-
will bounce
if
things
you
will just
can
fall
conceive of something like you're not going to run up against an invisible wall. It's going to work how you think it's going to work. And
Except
that's
for the
just so
sky.
Wild.
And also, arrows don't blow in the wind. You can shoot an arrow straight in the wind and it's fine. I think that's the only thing that the physics engine
Physics.
doesn't touch. But it'll still
that's probably
it'll
And
still blow materials
and
off of
it will arc.
Yeah.
You have to aim above where if you're shooting
Yes.
at something far away, you
Yes.
have to aim above that. That's super cool. It's
Yeah.
not a gun, you know, like it's
yeah
Okay, but also you could just attach a rocket to the arrow
And it
and,
will
then it
go-
becomes a gun.
it does
And it goes straight.
it
and
will
it explodes.
But even that is like something the game took into account, right? It's not
Yeah.
just like we made an arrow shooting system and we got lazy about it. Like
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
this game is so good, y'all.
Yeah.
It's so good.
yeah
we want to wrap this up so we can play some more Zelda.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
gonna go play Zelda and pretend to think about potentially maybe practicing for Hartford.
no you know what you just need to cleanse the Pokemon palette before Hartford is what you need to do so you're
That
going to
does
go
not-
in
that
there
does
fresh
not
I
work.
need to
That does
pick a
not work.
team.
I tried to cleanse my palate before San Diego, and that is the only event I did badly at this season. So do not do that. Play some games if you're.
I'll
if
play
you-
some games.
you can play
Hey,
them when
game?
you get to the Airbnb and then you can
There
play
you
some
go.
games
There you go.
I will probably be like, I still have 3 teams to choose from at the Airbnb. Oh no!
roll a
Anyway.
dice roll a
Build them all-
dice
Build them all. Choose one. Yeah, there you go.
That's probably what I'm gonna do. I'll probably
Roll it.
take
Dude.
the time away from Tears of the Kingdom to do that.
to do build a team and then just let Dice Maiden decide
No.
Ah.
Anywho, that does it for our first impressions of Tears of the Kingdom from the Game Corner. I'm not even going to ask this week for another video game because I know the answer is not. It's Tears of the Kingdom, right?
I do have another one that I've been CK3
I do not
had some
care.
DLC, which is great. Oh,
I have to go edit that out now.
yes.
You just gave me more work. You just took away from my Tears of the Kingdom time.
You got me excited.
This is how we
You got me excited.
Dang it.
Yeah. CK3
Cricketune.
had a DLC, which is great. Some tours and tournaments. It's pretty fun, actually. You get
I
to
didn't know what you said, and I still don't know.
Crusader Kings 3 DLC.
That
came out.
sounds
It's pretty
a lot.
fun. They're pretty fun. They're also like
It
remarkably
sounds like you
deranged.
misspelled Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes. It's like Tears of the Kingdom, just more inbreeding and
Yeah.
eugenics experiments.
Do you have to censor those words too?
No, I don't think so, because I don't think those are topics of discussion. Unlike the other thing. We've been the Game Corner. I'm closing this out. My name is Harrison. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter and YouTube at @row_ixon. All of our stuff down below. Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan. You can.
I'm not giving that bit up. It's a good bit. I don't care what anyone says.
You can find me on YouTube, Rowan Hall, Twitter, Rowan W Hall. I just put up my most recent, not my most recent Malamar game, actually. One of my most recent ones against Strider, Marcus Dion, really good player. Played them in the format where we have 6 weakness policies on our team.
Oh my gosh.
I've got a show match with Pengy where we also played the same format because Pengy wanted to play a game. And finally, the last match of the season against Rich Rappa, who top 8'd in Charlotte, and we played a format where we had to have one Pokemon of each generation, and that was super fun too. So, yeah, come check out my content. I will be putting up the last 2 of those, but it's all fun stuff. And yeah, and I was also joined by, who are you, Sheldon?
This is
Isn't it fun?
Sheldon. And you can find me on Twitter, Captain_Unova, Twitch, Captain Unova, wherever. It's going to be Captain Unova somewhere. And that's me.
Do
all
I
the
give you
stuff's down
crap
below.
for streaming? Not streaming?
If you want to.
You should stream.
I need to.
Yeah, you could have streamed Tears of the Kingdom.
I was too busy playing Tears of the Kingdom to stream Tears of the Kingdom. That would take away from time of playing Tears of the Kingdom too.
I streamed 9.5 hours on Friday.
That's a long time.
That is also going to be
potentially too long. Wow.
So I do have a problem that they dropped this game on Mother's Day weekend, and me being married and having a kid, I had to take away from my time to go do responsibilities.
I had other things planned, and I did not.
Bad timing. Bad timing.
Go to the local
hiring a
for
body
Tears of the
double,
Kingdom.
maybe.
That would be great. I need to find one of those.
Go Ultraman, build yourself a body double. We have been the Game Corner. You can find us on Twitter at the Game Corner VGC. What's our Twitter handle nowadays? Game Corner VGC. Game Corner VGC.
Game Corner TOTK.
It's all TOTK. Game Corner TOTK. I'm very tempted now. All of our stuff is down below. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, it's there. If you want to see Rowan's app on Android and iOS, it's there, I think.
iOS is not released yet. It's actually ready. It's just ugly, so I need to make it look nicer before I release it.
It's like I don't manage that page. I should know that I didn't put a link there for that yet. Anyway, all that's down below. Go check it out. The Discord is always open, looking for more people to come talk about Pokemon, Tears of the Kingdom, and the fun things you do to torture Koroks in this game. Which we didn't talk about, which we missed
or if you want to talk about food and alcohol, like we have a nice little section for that. I will be in
every Friday. Sheldon
every Friday
posts pictures. It's like Instagram over there, Foodstagram. Anyway, until next time, go forth. Nope, that's not it. That's my other one. Press start and game on, and go save Hyrule. Bye.